Hi, this is Mike Crow, and I run a home inspection business. In fact, I've run a couple of home inspection businesses. The true joy for me, though, has been helping literally thousands of home inspectors build really solid home inspection businesses as well. We can help a single-man operation be able to do over $300,000 a year, maybe all the way up to $400,000 a year as a single inspector operation. Even better for me is the 80-plus companies that we have helped be able to build million-dollar home inspection businesses. I would like to help you be able to do the same thing. Hey everybody, this is Mike Crow with Coach Blueprint. I have been in the home inspection business, as most of you know, if you've been listening to this podcast at all, for like 38 plus years, since like 1985, doing a lot of cool stuff. So something interesting happened the other day, and I was driving down the road with my daughter, and years ago she had said, hey, what are some of the things you do to get lucky? And I started explaining some of that to her. And then one of the things that we talked about, came back around to, was planting seeds. So what kind of seeds are you planting? So I went to lunch with one of my partners here, John Laird, and welcome, John, to the call.
Thanks, Mike. It's great to be here.
All right. John, how long have you been with us?
I've had the pleasure of working with you, Mike, and serving our clients for about 15 years now.
15 years, okay? Yeah. And I want you to know how impressed I am with that. That's impressive, all right? You know, my dad used to say, if you can work for me, you can work for anybody. I suspect there's some truth in that, moving from generation to generation. So anyway, so John and I go to lunch basically once a week. Yep. Okay. And I told John, I said, John, we got to talk about planting seeds. And I said, because I had this great conversation with my daughter, and it was just an amazing conversation. And what I realized was it was one of the things that helped me become lucky. And so you and I started talking and sitting down. John, just what were one of the couple of big things you pulled out of that? And then we'll hit some of these questions, because you did a great job of writing down some of the questions that we talked about on planting seeds.
Yeah, one of those items, and we'll jump into this in just a second, but just something to keep in mind is that ultimately you're responsible for the seeds that get planted in your life. And we'll kind of expound on that. There's an easier way to do that than most people try to do it, and we'll get to that. But I thought if you'd like, it'd be awesome if you could just expound a little bit on, when you're talking about planting seeds, what does it actually mean to plant a seed?
And I love your analogy, by the way. So it's going to go along with what I'm getting ready to say. So imagine a farmer has a crop, right? Or has a field, and he's going to plant seeds for a crop. And he's hoping that it'll come around time, when it comes around harvest time, that he'll be able to harvest that crop. All right. What happens if he doesn't plant seeds?
No crop.
No crop. Okay. However, other seeds will be planted. That's important.
That's a great point.
So as soon as you said that, I went, oh man, I need to add that to the whole farmer story, because if you don't plant seeds, or you allow other people to plant seeds, you may not get what you want. All right. And that's a big question of what we ask people. What is it you want? And even more important, it is, why do you want that? Okay. And so often we say, we say why plus how equals wow. All right. So the why is very important. Why is the farmer planting a crop? Well, I mean, if you really get down to it, right, he's probably trying to earn money. Why are you in the home inspection business? Or why is our one guy in a CPA? Or why does our one guy own real estate? Or why does some people sell real estate? The first thing that comes to mind is money. But money is never the real answer. Okay. Money, it's what money can buy. And we talk about that a lot of times. So let's just take a look at some of these questions, all right? So when you talk about planting seeds, what are we actually talking about? We're talking about the thoughts, the future vision to some degree, the hopes and dreams that people have. I saw a great commercial the other day. It's called The American Dream, okay? Not the American plan, not the American whatever, okay? And I thought, wow, that is so true. Imagine if you plant the right seeds, that those dreams can come true. And so it goes along with your second question, which was, there's 3 ways to plant seeds. John, what's one way to plant seeds?
We talked about, and something that we use a lot in our coaching business is salting. Sometimes we talk about opening a loop. That's also very similar to salting. Really what we're trying to do is use strategies to build anticipation.
Build anticipation. Me and my wife did marriage enrichment for years at our church. And one of the things that we learned was the power of anticipation. So planting seeds is a way of starting to get what you want without actually getting the item. All right. I'll give you a perfect example. I told my family we were going to take them on a Disney cruise, right? We planned that thing for 5 years. And then the pandemic hit. And we planned it for another 2 years, okay? But we finally got to go. But I mean, everybody was anticipating that, looking forward to that. And we did little things to kind of remind them that we were going to do that. So one year at Christmas, I gave all the ladies Disney purses. Okay. And I said, just so you remember, Disney cruise, we're gonna do that, or we're gonna go to Disney. And so salting, and by the way, I have a great radio guy I used to listen to. His name was Ron Chapman, right? And he said, oh, and we just heard that there is a major event happening in Fort Worth, Texas, and we'll talk about that as soon as we're done with these commercials.
Right.
Wow. Talk about planting seeds. He was the champion. I listened to him at his retirement dinner and everything. He said, I was known for salting everything. All right. And I don't think people understand how important salting is.
Especially a powerful strategy that home inspectors or really any business owner can use when they're presenting in front of, for instance, a group of mavens. You can use it at the first of your presentation to build anticipation for something you're going to share with them later.
Well, this is a great point. And by the way, if you don't know what mavens means, maven is somebody that can refer you probably 5 times a year, okay? And there's like 15, 16 of those in the home inspection industry, but they're in every industry. We have people that are in the scholarship business, they have mavens. We have people as real estate agents, they have mavens. We have a CPA, he has mavens. And so I haven't found an industry yet that there's not somebody that's working with your client already, or the client you want to work with, that couldn't help salt your name, okay, or plant some seeds for your name and some different things. All right. So, but you said something very important there, and I'm trying to get back to it. What was that again?
Just that one way that people can practically use the salting strategy is in presentations, for instance.
Right. So presentations, number one fastest way to grow your business. And I actually get very little disagreement with that, partially maybe because most people don't do presentations, and most people are scared to do them, which, by the way, means you just go have somebody else do them instead of you. Okay. But presentations, we have created at our home inspection company what we call the perfect 5-minute presentation. And inside of that presentation, we salt or plant seeds of 2 other presentations that we've already written that you can do, like 10 ways to get 10 more referrals per month guaranteed. I don't have time to talk about that today. I'm sure I can come back hopefully at another time and talk about that. Whoa, okay. 9 marketing secrets of top producing agents. And, I look forward to having an opportunity to sharing those secrets with you. All right. I mean, anticipation and salting it and planting those seeds. Planting seeds. I tell people that one of my great gifts is being able to filter, all right? But I'm realizing that one of my great gifts is probably the ability to plant seeds. Every time you and I talk, I know I plant at least 5 or 10 seeds, okay?
Absolutely.
I had lunch with one of our managers today. 10 years from now, when we get together again, we're going to be talking about this and this. What did I just do? I just planted the seed that we're going to be together again. We're going to be working together, for the next 10 years. And so that's kind of a cool thing. There's so many ways to plant seeds. One of the most important things about planting seeds, though, is learning to be a visionary, right?
Yes.
And we're going to talk about, we get to the last question, we're going to talk about some of the seed planting that I have done over the years, and just a small list of some of the seed planting I've done over the years where everybody went, you're crazy, okay? When Walt Disney built Disneyland, right? You're crazy. Oh, 1 entrance? No, that's wrong, okay? Every type of fair, you had multiple entrances. So Great State Fair of Texas, right? There's like 14 gates that go into that. It's not one. And so it's kind of an interesting scenario when you think about that. But when he started planning Disneyland, everybody thought he was crazy. I was talking with a guy the other day at church. I sit at my coffee shop, and my wife goes to Sunday school class, which I may sound a little crazy, but I sit up there and I nurture people, all right? And there's this one guy, and we started talking, and he was talking to me about a book, which, by the way, we're going to be introducing to our new members hopefully very soon. Cool book, by the way. I've been studying it. By the way, if you didn't catch that, I just planted a seed, okay? I just planted a seed, okay? I want you to help recognize some of that. And honestly, how simple it can be, all right? Anyway, we were talking about it, and he was talking about the dreams that he had and everything. I said, the real dreams are probably the ones where everybody tells you, well, that doesn't make any sense, or that's pretty much impossible, okay? I was telling somebody the other day, and, my wife said, you probably want to go to Mars. No, but I really would like to go to space. Mars is a little bit longer of a journey than I want to take, but going into space, I think it'd be super cool. 0G, I think it's going to be super cool. And I'm going to do that plane ride thing at some point where they make you feel like, so that's on my 100, things I want to do before I die, which, by the way,
awesome.
that list, and I've done that list with all of my family, right? And we even talked about with you,
Yep.
5-year plan, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Your 5-year plan, and you wrote it down. We were seed planning.
Yep.
What's one cool thing on that 5-year list? And we started that, it was well over a year ago. We started that you've actually done.
Yeah, I went to an event that I wanted to just a few months ago. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
he's being very coy here. He went to
It's a gaming convention.
a gaming
Yeah.
convention. I want to call it a Comic-Con, right?
Oh, it's similar. It's similar.
Right.
Yeah.
And by the way, there's so much stuff to learn there. I mean, I met Stan Lee there. Can you imagine meeting Stan Lee? I met Stan Lee there. I met Patrick Stewart there. They had a table where you could come up and just say hi to him at different points. I just had a chance to say, so tell me about your favorite charity. Boy, there's a conversation starter, right?
Yeah, that's pretty
And
awesome.
talk about seed planning, and they look at you completely different because everybody else wants to ask them something about themselves or whatever they want. Now, here's one of the cool things on part 2 of this, 3 ways to plant seeds. So we talked about building and anticipation. We talked about being a visionary a little bit. And one of the secrets that I have, and somebody's telling me that I need to either write a book about this and or do a podcast about it. We'll probably do a podcast first. And this will probably, by the way, be in my next book. Okay. Which, by the way, John, I would really like to have that to say, Mike Crow and John Laird. Okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I see no reason why I can't. And by the way, if you didn't catch that,
We planted a seed.
we planted a seed.
That's
Okay.
right.
1, there's a book coming. Okay. And 2, that John's going to be helping me with that book. Okay.
Absolutely.
But we've been going to lunch every week for, I don't know, almost a year. And every time we talk about what's going in the book and how we're going to talk about it, what's the important part of that, and why the book. Don't ever forget why is so important. Okay. But the last one on here for 3 ways to plant seeds is asking questions.
Yeah. So basically, what I like about asking questions is you are giving the other person you're talking to, you're making the act of planting seeds more active for them. They're not just passively listening to you, but you're requiring a response from them that in a sneaky way is getting them to help plant that seed.
Yeah. In fact, I was talking with one of our managers today, and I said, the best thing you can do as a leader is to let people think it's their idea. Okay. Yeah, and this person said, well, we really accomplished such and such because I did this. And I went, all right, now say that as a leader, not as a manager. Okay. And we rehearsed that, and wow, my team really accomplished some great things because they knuckled down and got this and this and this done. That's what a leader would say. But helping that person by asking questions and helping them think through different pieces of it, helping them understand how to plant seeds. And then I said, you want to know the greatest secret to something? She was asking me, she said, sometimes I tell people, hey, I want to do this. And they go, no, I don't think that's a good idea. Now, in the old school days, we would have just fired that person, right?
Wrong answer.
That's not true, by the way. That's what people want to tell you, but that's 95% thinking. That's not 1% thinking. What we really want to do is ask people enough questions so they tell us what the answer is without us having to tell them what the answer is. It's probably one of the most powerful things. So asking questions is one of the big parts of that.